Welcome back. Now, we all know that nerve-wracking feeling when a job interview is looming. It can be a stressful time, made all the more so if you're feeling mentally and physically unprepared. Well, an Edinburgh-based charity is here to help. SmartWorks helps disadvantaged unemployed women into work. Not only do they sharpen interview skills and build self-confidence, but they even provide the perfect interview-ready outfit. Claire McNeil went along to see how they give women the strength to shine.
Okay, so we've got Lindsay upstairs. She is
size 10.
Size 10.
When you're in an interview, it's not just about what you say, your clothes speak volumes too. The SmartWorks volunteers not only help with interview skills and self-confidence, but also make sure their clients look the business.
I wonder if she'd like colour. She did say lights, didn't she?
They come in usually lacking confidence, and we basically will spend an hour with them, up to an hour, and we make them feel good. We give them some lovely clothes, and they depart feeling $1 million.
SmartWorks helps everyone from those with disabilities, the homeless, ex-offenders, or even women who have just taken a few years out.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, and I'm Emma Lister. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm one of the volunteer dressers.
It was a big shock when I lost my job through the company went into liquidation. I had other wee jobs, cleaning jobs, which didn't last either. I was a bit nervous because having been working for so many years, I was a bit rusty and I didn't know exactly how to put myself forward. So I felt I was out of my comfort zone.
Gosh.
Oh, wow.
That looks good.
That looks great.
Lovely trousers.
The friendliness and
Length on you.
the approach that they give you is absolutely fantastic. They can't do enough for you. And if you have any questions, they go out their way to help you. They're really fantastic. That's not me.
Do you feel smart?
If I didn't know it was me, I would swear it wasn't.
By the end of it, they are a totally different person, and they often hug us, and they're
I've
just
had tears and
tears.
yeah, all sorts of reactions.
They're just so pleased
Yeah,
with the transformation.
yeah. And they always let us know afterwards, you know, whether they have been successful or not. So, and we've got a 60% success rate. You know, 60% of the women that we've seen have got the job.
Since 2014, SmartWorks has helped more than 300 women get a job. It just shows that the right attitude teamed with the perfect shoes can go a long way. Claire McNeil, STV News, Edinburgh.
Well, I'm joined by Sandy McConnell from SmartWorks and Nicola McRedmond from HR Consultancy. Thanks both very much for coming in today.
Pleasure.
Now, Sandy, where did this idea for SmartWorks come from? It's obviously quite an unusual concept, teaming fashion advice with career advice.
Yeah, I think the concept originated in America, but then it was found that there was a need in this country for it. So it started in London and then moved up to Edinburgh and various other regional towns. And
So who comes to you for advice? What kind of people are you helping?
all sorts of women from all backgrounds, all ages. Perhaps they've been out of work for a long time for any specific reason, or they just have been caring for family or children.
Mm-hmm. And Nicola, this service is obviously tailored specifically for women. Do you find that women are perhaps less confident coming into the workplace or re-entering it after an absence?
Quite often, yes. I think certainly dealing with both with men and women, from a recruiter perspective, women are often less confident. They've got the same skills and the same abilities. They're not always as good at selling themselves in an interview, and you know, potentially picking out the skills and experience they've got and putting that across, especially, as you said, when they've been out of the workplace for some time.
Yeah, because I was reading something recently that said, you know, in a job description, some men, if they can do, you know, 3 out of the 5 things, they'll say, I can do this job, whereas women will say, I can't do 2 of those things, so I can't do it. So it's about a confidence kind of perspective. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, quite often women going into apply for roles or going into an interview don't want to put themselves in a position where they're presenting themselves to be able to do something that they can't. Women quite often in an interview setting show a lot more, I suppose, empathy with the situation, and
I suppose that's where SmartWorks comes in, because, you know, obviously completely different angle from Nicola, from recruitment, in that they probably are women, probably haven't worked for a long time, and their confidence is 0. So we tend to role play and build confidence hopefully eventually to get the job. But it's more the building the confidence and that we do there.
So it's not just, you're not just giving women something to wear, you're working with them as well.
Totally. When they sit down, they've already had a session with the dressers, so they're feeling quite good about themselves. And that is important, good about yourself. Represent and present yourself at the interview. And then sitting down, relax, informally, and go through lots of do's and don'ts and tips for being interviewed.
And Nicola, how important is what you wear versus what you say in an interview? Do first impressions when you walk in the door, do they matter?
I think, you know, unfortunately, first impressions are hugely important. It's a very sort of basic human instinct to make a first judgment and first impression on someone from how they look, how they speak, their handshake. Once that impression is made as well, it can be quite difficult to turn it around. So yes, with coaching from a business like Smart Techniques or a recruiter, you can have the ability to portray your skills and experience correctly, but the first impression, once you've got that right, you're off on the best footing.
And Sandy, is there a kind of top tip? Is there a specific piece of advice that you're giving women? Are there things you tell them to work on to be better?
Yeah, a lot of the tips are common sense, but of course, if you've not been in the workplace for a long, long time, they don't come easily to you. Simple things like don't wear bright lipstick or strong perfume, or don't wear stilettos if you can't walk in them. Again, this going in and presenting and representing yourself, because in effect, Nicola, you are selling yourself when you go in for an interview.
Yep.
You know, provided preparation is also another thing. You know, research the company, know exactly what the job specification is, and if you haven't done it before, we work on your CV, the job spec, and sort of highlight, you know, the good parts of the job specification, which you perhaps can talk about, rather than don't say the word can't.
Exactly right.
And from a recruiter perspective, is there things you definitely shouldn't do or things you definitely should do when you're in an interview situation?
I think Sandy already touched on it in the preparation. There's so much information available to us. There's so much content online nowadays. Being prepared with what the company does, you know, setting up a Google alert so that if there's anything in the news about that company in the days before you walk in to the interview, but also being aware that there's a lot of content about yourself on the internet as well. So being prepared that they will have looked at your profile on LinkedIn, they will be able to see some of your content on Facebook. That's changed the dynamic of hiring and how much information both parties have before an interview nowadays.
That's another thing that SmartWorks does introduce, because a lot of our clients perhaps didn't have access to these facilities before, but now we're saying, I mean, LinkedIn would be something which is absolutely, you know, unknown.
Foreign, yeah.
So if we can encourage them to use the media that's there to do their preparation, it goes a long way.
And Sandy, does anyone stick out in your mind as having benefited particularly from SmartWorks, from your service? Is there a success story?
Yes, I would say one sort of memorable situation was a young Muslim girl who had, she was estranged from her family, hadn't been working for a long time, she had a couple of small children. She decided time to go back into the workplace. Well, she came along to us. She'd arranged an interview through the job centre, came along to us, we kitted her, interviewed her with regards what she should be saying, how she should be doing things, and she got the job. And that girl is just an amazing example of what SmartWorks do. So yeah.
Yeah, obviously demonstrates the benefits of this service. Well, both of you, thank you so much for joining me in the studio tonight. It's been great to hear from you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it for the moment. From all of us here on the STV News team, do enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye for now.